Cafe in Port Allen for a little breakfast, a little lunch. We actually just finished up breakfast, getting ready for lunch over here. And make sure you like and share this post. We appreciate it very much. Crazy busy day today on Sports Shorts Daily. So much to talk about, right? Tom Brady unretires. That was the giant news of the day yesterday. Also, LSU basketball. Of course, they had to do it, Tommy, right when we get off the air with Sports Shorts Radio on Saturday. They announced it Saturday afternoon that Will Wade is fired. We would have liked to have had that little nugget. Nobody asked us at LSU to talk about it. But so Will Wade out as the basketball coach at LSU. That's gigantic. Considering the Tigers find out they're a 6 seed taking on Iowa State this week. LSU women's basketball, they're a 3 seed at home next week. And for take on Jackson State in the first round matchup. So you got Tom Brady, you got LSU men's and women's basketball. Will Wade's out. You got LSU baseball sweeps getting ready for a first weekend series against Texas A&M coming up. The big story: will Blake Money pitch this week? Will Blake Money pitch at all this year? He left the game with an injury on Friday night. That was Friday afternoon. That was terrible news for LSU. And on top of that, the New Orleans Saints make a trade offer for the Houston Texans to try to get Deshaun Watson, the controversial quarterback, in New Orleans, and, of course, mixed reaction on that. So have I missed anything, Tommy?
I don't know, man. It was a busy weekend. Everybody, like Sean says, 2 topics. Deshaun Watson to the Saints, good or bad move. I guess since Sean asked, we'll jump right into it. I can't get a feel for it. I mean, the NFL only cares about winning. Okay, and if they think Deshaun Watson can help them win, they want to get him. It might mean the Saints aren't totally sold on Jameis Winston. A couple of reasons. One, he's coming back from an injury. 2, maybe they think Watson's a better quarterback. But it's a slippery slope. You know, all his criminal stuff, he's not going to be indicted. I was listening to Dan Patrick this morning. They're talking about he's going to pay off all these civil suits. He's going to write the check, make it all go away, and he's ready to play football. You know, I don't see Gail Benson having this guy on the Saints, just when you look at everything she's done since she took over the ownership. But winning is the most important thing in the NFL. We've seen other teams across the league play guys who had a little baggage,
right,
or a lot of baggage, for as long as we can go back. I mean, Paul Hornung, Alex Karras got banned for gambling, yet they ended up coming back to the Lions and the Packers, respectively. So it's always been a thing. But then here's the thing, Ronnie. You know, Calvin Ridley is suspended for a year because he broke an NFL rule. He didn't break the law. He broke an NFL rule. Now, you know, Deshaun Watson has got law issues. And it may get resolved, but it's not resolved as we speak today. You know, so is it okay for him to play, but not Calvin Ridley? And I don't know. It's kind of a mess. But, like, I think you said it last night when we were at Hold the Rope Radio. If he starts winning, nobody's going to remember any of that other stuff. It'll go away if they win. But now the Saints, and we talked about this last night, now that Tom Brady has unretired after 40 days, he said, now the Saints, you know, the Buccaneers are already the odds-on favorite, equal with the Packers to win the NFC. That wasn't like that yesterday.
Right.
Okay. It's like that now. So, you know, it's a lot of wild and craziness now. People are ripping Brady because he made the announcement on Selection Sunday and stole the thunder. But the NFL is famous for trying to get something out every day. Now, I'm not sure they didn't coordinate with Brady. Like, oh, make that announcement today. But Brady's going to do what he wants to do. Funny thing on Twitter, all you guys thinking about getting married, take a look at Tom Brady. 40 days later, he said, I'm going back to football with the wife and kids.
Even with the greatest wife in the world, right, and Giselle and Victoria's Secret model, he still had enough time at home. You know, listen, I don't think the New Orleans Saints made the offer for the Houston Texans, you know, made an offer for Deshaun Watson without asking Gail Benson. Like that, I would be stunned, shocked, and amazed. I just don't think it happened. I mean, there was a conversation, even though, you know, Gail's got a board that's in place for kind of running things and all that. There's no way that a phone call wasn't made to her to say, hey, look, we're going to make an offer for Deshaun Watson. Are you okay with this? Which, if she said yes, that really surprises me because, and clearly she said yes, or they wouldn't have made the offer because, you know, we know she's gigantic and her husband, Tom, they're gigantic in the Catholic Church. They give tons of money to the Catholic Church. They're one of the biggest benefactors in the Catholic Church in the city of New Orleans. This is going to be mixed reaction. You know, Jacob Hester said he did a Twitter poll he put out there yesterday He's had about 700 responses so far over the last 24 plus hours. About 50 something percent have said they're supportive of the trade. 30 something percent said they weren't. And then another percentage said they were undecided. I think that percentage of that's okay with the trade is going to go up more and more over time, but it's never going to be 100. There's always going to be a third of the group, a crowd, or 25% or whatever, the people that are pretty adamant against Deshaun Watson being a possible quarterback in New Orleans. And so I'm really surprised that Gail Benson okayed this, because even if they end up not going any further and end up not really pursuing this trade anymore, there's going to be negative reaction just for the offer.
Well, no matter who they would get, if they re-sign Winston, there'd be some people, we shouldn't have done that. He had a bad knee injury. You're not going to please everybody all the time. We all know that. But I just think it's kind of a situation of, I don't know. Some people aren't going to like it. How about the guy that paid $518,000? Now, Dan Patrick and them dove into that this morning. When he placed the bid, there's a 30-day window by which he has to pay the money. So now he's going to say, I'll pay the money if he never plays again. So I think the guy's not going to lose out on all that.
Okay, well, that's good. He shouldn't. I feel bad for the guy, and I think it happened just the other day. Hopefully he gets, or I tell you what, I'll pay the money if you knock half of, 300,000 off of it or something.
That could be the ball that was almost.
Right. I don't know. That's crazy. Those auction items, how they work. I knew a guy who was the biggest collector of Alex Rodriguez memorabilia. He's in Austin, Texas, and super successful, wealthy guy. He's got one of the biggest collections of anything from Beatles memorabilia to A-Rod to Tom Brady and everything in between. And he said, and Alex Rodriguez used to call him, like he'd literally call him and be like, hey, I got ball 501, 502, 505, what do you want to give me for it? Hey, I got my uniform from the All-Star game. Which is crazy that A-Rod would sell his shit, but that doesn't surprise you.
Well, he's an idiot.
But this guy collected all, and then all of a sudden, bam, A-Rod gets busted with the steroids and everything. His reputation takes a hit. He probably won't get into the Hall of Fame, and so, of course, the value of everything he paid for has gone down dramatically.
Yeah, it really has. And like somebody said this morning, that dude that paid $500,000 for the football, he's got lots of millions.
Yeah.
He wasn't worth $600,000 and threw, 88%.
But he probably didn't get rich making all those, bad choices.
Yeah, so anyway. But no, the Tom Brady thing back is a huge story. It's directly tied to the Saints, the NFC South, and what's going to happen going forward with the Saints. I know Deshaun Watson came out and said he was not interested in the Panthers because he has to waive a no-trade clause in order for this to happen. So if it comes to Panthers, he's not going to waive it. But, they say they're asking for a lot. Are the Saints really willing to, quote-unquote, mortgage the near-term future and the midterm future? Because Deshaun Watson has not taken a snap in the year. By the way, he got paid last year. I wasn't sure I knew that. He got paid because he was on the inactive list or something. So he still made his millions of dollars. Yeah, I don't know. To use one of your words, it's an oogie situation.
Byron Painter, one of our viewers up in Alexandria, makes a good point, right? He said, criminal issues aside, I think he's a good quarterback, but the leader of your team has to be able to make better decisions. And for that reason, I don't think the Saints should bring him in. The other thing, Byron, is that the problem is for the New Orleans Saints, you're going to have to give up allegedly 3 first-round picks and maybe more to get them. So you're going to have to mortgage the future for a quarterback that when will he play? Because the NFL is going to suspend him. There's going to be something that comes down the NFL, a code of conduct violation of some sort. You're already going to lose Kamara for 6 games. If you did sign Deshaun Watson or more, if you did sign Deshaun Watson, when will he actually be the quarterback of the Saints? We don't know. And so you give up 3 first-rounders and all these players for a quarterback in 2024, so that's the problem. And that's why I don't think the deal gets done. I think the Saints are going to wear it on the chin. They're going to win 8 games, 9 games at best. They maybe are at best a wild card team. While meanwhile, Tom Brady's going after another Super Bowl.
Well, it shows that the Saints are trying to make the team better, which I think fans like.
Yeah.
All fans want their team to try to get better. I don't care who it is or where it is. But, just the baggage and, Kamara's now got baggage. He punched the guy 8 times. That's on video. But again, it goes back to what I said. The NFL cares about winning. If they think Charles Manson could help them win, they put him in the lineup. Okay, I mean it's just, that might be an extreme example, but my point being, we've seen a lot of guys.
It's not an extreme example; it just shows your age.
Yeah,
you reference Charles Manson.
But I mean, it's just we've seen a lot of guys play in the league that some people say, he shouldn't be playing the league. Now, Kaepernick says he wants to come back. I mean,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that Colin Kaepernick hasn't been back a long time ago. Quite frankly,
he was been offered, didn't want to. Remember the NFL set that free tryout thing up for him, and he pulled a no-show. He didn't even text and say, "Hey, he's not going to be there."
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about LSU basketball. Obviously, giant story. Will Wade out. And this is crazy because they played arguably one of their best games of the year at the SEC tournament against Missouri, dominated throughout. They lost, of course, the next day, but they got a 6th seed. I thought that LSU would probably wait till the season was over, let them play 1, 2, 3 games in the tournament. They get knocked out, fire them, respond to the NCAA's NOA, and then move on. Instead, they did it right away. That did surprise me.
Well, Skip Bertman, who was an AD for 8 years at LSU, said, they got the notice of allegations on Wednesday. The team had left to go to Tampa. So they read through them. I'm sure the attorneys looked at it. And then he landed at the Baton Rouge airport at 12:30 Saturday afternoon, right after lunchtime. He was told to come straight to Scott Woodward's office. President Tate was there, and they fired him. So they're telling the NCAA that we did the thing we could do as soon as we could do it. They waited for him to return home. Skip thinks they made a great move by doing that because the NCAA will look at that as, hey, they reacted, within days after getting this notice of allegations. There's 6 level 1 violations against Will Wade. 6. I mean, he's not coaching college basketball again. And I mean,
for a while,
the paper
for a while, he's going to coach it.
You read there's a check out of him and his wife's account to the
money.
Girl to be quiet. It's one thing if you say, hey, she blackmailed me, but if you pay the mere fact that he wrote her a check for whatever the amount was, so, look, all coaches, lots of coaches have cheated. He got caught.
How do you write a check? Like, in this day and age,
that's not being smart.
How do we write a check? I mean, it's just so bizarre. I mean, and all this came after he'd already found out, I'm on a wiretap and I got busted and all that. So you should be even more paranoid, right? You should be even more paranoid about it. But the fact that he wrote a check is bizarre. Look, I think, and I said this earlier this morning on Off the Bench with Jacob Hester, I thought that 2 things happened here. Will Wade probably grew very tired. Scott Woodward grew very tired of Will Wade. He's been dealing with this for 4 years. He inherited this mess. He inherited this coach he didn't hire. And he knew I can get rid of him as soon as level 1 or level 2, allegations come down from the NCAA. And he's been dealing with a coach who's not responsive, right? Who's not open about anything. It's kind of like 2 different companies under the same roof. So he's been probably wanting to get rid of him. And so the reason that when it came down, he was just probably tired of him. Great, let's just be done with. Get the guy out of here. And then also it may help a little bit with the NCAA, the fact that you acted quickly, decisively, you got rid of the coach. It probably helped with their seeding. They might have not been a 6 seed. They might have been an 8 or 9 seed out of spite had they not gotten rid of them, by the selection committee. Plus, they're going to pay the price. They're going to have they're going to forfeit scholarships. They're going to have a postseason ban or 2. Like, that's coming. And because of the lack of institutional control, which was also stated in the letter. So a hammer is coming, and I think anything else you can do to get out ahead of it just a little bit is good, and I think that's why they got rid of Will Wade.
And football's involved in this too, with the OBJ giving out the money.
The Our Lady of the Lake situation.
Yeah, the Our Lady of the Lake situation. That's level 1 violation. Mm-hmm. So it might not be good news for LSU going forward. But, Ronnie, let's take it back to just basketball. How does Scott Woodward get somebody hired if they don't know the sanctions from the NCAA? You remember when they hired John Brady, he was at Samford over in Alabama. And there were probations, there were issues from the end of the Dale Brown era. John Brady got the job, of course, took the team to the Final Four. He had many good seasons, okay? But they couldn't get a quote-unquote big name. John Brady wasn't a big name the day they hired him, although he had beaten LSU straight up.
That year in the
game in the PVAC. But, so, I mean, Well, I think that LSU fans, Scott Woodward's going to do the right thing. Don't worry about it. He's got a plan. He had a plan before this notice of allegations stuff came out the other day. So, just sit tight, use Ronnie's famous quote, let it play out, and we'll see what we got going forward with all of that.
The one thing I'll say about this LSU basketball deal, it's going to get worse before it gets better, because we found this is going to take months before we know what actually is going to be the final, hammer that LSU is going to have to deal with. What are the sanctions going to be? We won't know for months, which means they're going to have to hire a basketball coach before they even know what the next 2-3 years is going to look like. That said, how the hell are you going to be able to get a high-level, good basketball coach? Now, granted, they're going to pay big money, but still, if any basketball coach who's worth their salt is not going to want to come here and be trashed for 3 years before they become good.
Well, there's going to be a contract similar to what Woodward got from LSU. See, his contract got extended by 2 years when the allegations came out. Because when he came in, he knew that cloud was up in the air. And he said, all right, if there's a problem, I want more years on my thing. So he got 2-year extension when the allegations were delivered.
By the way, Craig, we'll act decisively if anything happens with the Rougarou, any DUIs, any off-the-field situations, arrest, immediate release. Craig, you don't have to worry about that.
Well, hey, Craig walked us into it, Ronnie, but let's mention the Rougarou for a minute. Of course, it was a big thing the other day on the radio, all over social media. So give everybody, you've got the logo on the screen.
Yeah.
Ticket information will scroll on the bottom for a couple of minutes. Go ahead and give the speech, Ron.
So we're a little excited, right? I mean, a Texas Collegiate Wood Bat baseball team in Baton Rouge. I took over as the new owner. We've got a brand new coaching staff. Wes Terrio, Ryan Terrio's brother, who's the head coach at Dunham High School, and a great team, by the way. And his whole staff, which all has college experience. Rick Smith Sr., who was a coach when I was on the '93 national championship team at LSU. He was on our staff. Rick Smith Jr., his son, Ricky, was on the staff at Nichols last year. And then Sean Teague, who was a pitching coach at Georgia Southern and Tulane back in the day, and who's still in the game as a pitching coach, non-faculty guy at Episcopal. He's going to be our pitching coordinator. So a fantastic staff. No one will have a better coaching staff than us. But more importantly, we want folks to come out in June and July, 9 games in June, 15 games in July, to Pete Goldsby Field, a gorgeous old ballpark with a roof, and takes you back to the old days. It's in fantastic shape. BRCC and Thomas Semino have done a fantastic job getting that playing surface ready for their season and whatnot. We got beer, we got daiquiris, we got margaritas. We're doing it all up over there this summer. Fun for the kids with inflatables. It's a minor league baseball experience, but yet it's unpaid college players that are trying to get that chance to get to the minors or just get better for their season next year, whatever college they're going to.
And the Texas Collegiate League was founded in 2004. This season, they'll play with 5 teams. There's a team in Lafayette, the Acadiana Cane Cutters, been around for a while, been very successful. 3 teams over in Texas, Bryan, Texas, with Brazos Valley, and you got Victoria, Texas, and Seguin, Texas, which is just a little short of going to San Antonio. So 5 teams in the league. And
Chance, I'll take you up on it, brother. Chance lives over there near San Antonio. Seguin, he said, it's about 20 minutes away or so. Seguin is right there, on I-10, about 30 minutes before you get to San Antonio. The Seguin River Monsters, first-year team in the league. So it's a really good league. I mean, a lot of great players. Will Davis at Lamar signed a bunch of players out of that league last year in the transfer portal. And, so I'll definitely take you up on that, Chance. We'll eat some barbecue.
Well, Ronnie, a couple things. The website, brrougarou.com. You can get tickets right now. Follow on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. A lot of stuff flew around there all weekend after your announcement and the announcement of Wes Terrio as the coach, which y'all did on the Matt Moscona show. I was listening Friday afternoon. So lots of stuff. There's a little buzz, so we got to capitalize on that buzz going forward. And I don't mean buzzy.
Sean Nolan, beer at the ballpark. Absolutely. Yeah, thanks to Mockler Beverage. They're a big sponsor. We'll have all kinds of beer and seltzers and everything else, along with daiquiris as well. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun. The Baton Rouge Rougarou, of course, we're going to tell you a lot about it here. We'll talk about it on Sports Shorts Radio, all of my social media platforms. We'll do a podcast all about it one day here in the near future. But games are in June and July. Texas Collegiate League. Get your tickets now. It's going to be fun, family experience. The kids will have fun at the ballpark. fireworks on Friday night.
Yeah.
Every night
home game, every Friday home game will have
there's
fireworks.
some kind of theme for every game because it's going to be a fun experience for everybody involved, and it's going to be entertaining. That's going to be the key. People go to the park, you're going to see good baseball, and you're going to be entertained, while you're at the ballpark, and you're going to have everything you need: concession stand, beer, daiquiris, the bounce houses for the little kids. I mean, you got a lot of work.
Yeah, no, I do, and especially in July, we got 15 games in July, so that's going to be real fun. We backloaded when July, the travel ball baseball is winding down for the little kids. School's right around the corner. You're looking for something fun and different to do, and all the games are real meaningful too because the playoffs are right around the corner.
And another thing, all games at 7 p.m. So you're not going to be out there at 1:30 in the heat of the day or 3 o'clock, maybe the little afternoon showers will get out of the way at 4:30, 7 p.m. game under the lights.
And we have a roof, so if it does, rain or anything, or if the sun's up, you can get under the roof and get some shade. But I appreciate folks for the support. It's been real fun. Please like and share any of the Rougarou info. Let's get back to talking sports. We talked about Tom Brady. We talked about Deshaun Watson, the New Orleans Saints. We talked about LSU basketball with Will Wade, and they're a number 6 seed. They're going to play at 6:20 against Iowa State this coming Friday night up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Iowa State, maybe the greatest story. They are like they're like the LSU women's basketball, but on the men's side. Last year they were 0-18 in conference play. This year, they got rid of everybody transferred, everybody left. They got a new coach, and then now they were ranked eighth in the country to start the year. Got off to a hot start. Have kind of teetered down the stretch, but they make it into the tournament. Bunch of transfers. Their best player is a fifth-year player, been to 3 different colleges, and they got one freshman in the lineup. So that's good news for LSU fans because that's what their lineup's going to look like in the next couple of years. Transfers galore. It's going to be like an AAU team, different players every year. But Iowa State's the feel-good story of the year. The problem is they don't score a lot of points. They've had games in the 30s and 40s this year multiple times. And so I think LSU basketball, who's a
4.5 point favorite.
4.5 point favorite. I think they're in a good spot. This is a great matchup for them because if they had played a high-scoring team, might be a little different. Low-scoring team, I think LSU wins and covers.
And don't forget, meatandpotatoesusa.com will be all over March Madness. We started posting stuff today. meatandpotatoesusa.com. Check it out on Facebook and Instagram. Lots of March Madness stuff coming up for you with lots of people getting picks out there. You're going to win some money, so don't forget that. But, and yesterday was Selection Sunday, and, Texas A&M didn't get in spite of getting to the
Florida didn't get
SEC
in.
tournament. And then I'll tell you the biggest gaffe is that Duke's a 2 seed and Tennessee's a 3. On social media this morning, they listed all of the rankings. It's not even close, Ronnie. Duke's there because it's Coach K's last year.
Right.
That's it. It's not because of anything they did on the floor. But in the big picture, they said the draw for Tennessee is better as a 3 than a 2. So, it gives you something to talk about until they start playing games.
By the way, Mike White leaves Florida after 7 years, takes a new job at Georgia. It's this case where he probably left before he was going to be fired. Florida wasn't going to made the NIT. There was rumblings he was going to be out anyway. Now it's a chance he got a brand new contract, guaranteed years. So worked out probably for both teams, but it is surprising. I think Georgia only won 1 game this year in conference play. They were terrible. So now they get a coach that they really like. LSU women's basketball team, by the way, Kim Mulkey, probably a little disappointed she's a 3 seed. I talked to her the other night, and they really wanted to be a 2 seed. Thought they were going to be a 2 seed, so probably a little surprised they ended up being a 3 seed, and then they got to go so far all the way to Washington.
And they will play at 4 o'clock Saturday against Jackson State at the PMAC.
They have to go to Washington in the next round.
Because if they win Saturday, they'll play Monday night at the PMAC. And the LSU baseball games at 6 p.m. Saturday, opening conference play with the Aggies of A&M. So there'll be a lot of activity, as it tends to be at this time of the year out on the campus at LSU, not to mention beach volleyball and softball.
I haven't done a beach volleyball.
We're going to have to do that together and go hand out Rougarou tickets.
Yeah. Okay? Don't twist my arm to go to a beach volleyball matchup.
But and then, Beth Torina's team takes the series from the number 2 ranked Alabama team in the nation.
First 2 losses of the year.
So lots going on out there at LSU. Go to the website and keep up with it.
All right, so the biggest topic, right, for LSU baseball, what in the hell is going on with Blake Money, the ace of their staff, a guy who looked like he was going to take a giant step forward this year and was pitching really good against Bethune-Cookman on Friday, leaves the game. throws a pitch, keeps his arm pinned against his side, walks off the field, goes up the tunnel. We find out over the weekend that it's more of a wrist impingement kind of thing. There, carpal tunnel-esque feelings. He's got wearing a brace, like you do when you have carpal tunnel. I just don't. Who knows, Tommy? Because obviously, LSU's going to keep things close to the vest, HIPAA laws, all that stuff. And I'm sure he's gotten MRIs and getting it checked out. But for now, for this week, for Texas A&M, for the first game of the SEC series, I can't imagine he pitches.
I saw the video while we were doing Sports Shorts Radio the other day. Hunter McCann pulled it up for us, and that was the first time I saw the video. It didn't look good to me. Doesn't look like a guy who's going to throw anytime soon. But I'm no doctor. I don't know. Only Blake Money and his doctors know. But, now we're here, and he's got some kind of wrist thing, brace on. He has not thrown the ball since last Friday when he threw that pitch. Let's hope it's good. Let's hope he's okay and he can pitch again very soon or kind of soon. Because that'll be – I can't see him pitching this Friday. He would have been the Friday guy against A&M as conference play opens. Now it's up to Jay Johnson and his staff to figure out how they'll approach the weekend from a pitching perspective. We'll just have to play the wait and see game. They got to play Tulane tomorrow night at the box, scheduled for 6:30. I know there's some weather going to be around tomorrow, but we'll see how that plays out. Right now I'm planning on going to that Tulane game tomorrow and check it out, so we'll have to see.
The one thing I'll say about LSU baseball right now, Tommy, is that they swung the bat real well this weekend. Their numbers, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but it is what it is. They played a garbage schedule minus 4 or 5 games, okay? In the 4 toughest games that they played at Louisiana Tech and in a neutral site against in Minute Maid, they're hitting less than 250 as a team. So as good as they are offensively, and they've got guys that are going to play in the major leagues, you could pitch to this lineup. And, so the pitching's got to come around quickly because you're going into the SEC where they're all studs and you've got the toughest road series of anything I've ever seen. They're hitting less than 250 against the good teams, and that's a trouble spot.
You make a good point. You got to read the stats. And I'm going to give the example I gave many times. Guy that played center field for me. Ended up being drafted, but, he'd go 3 for 4 against Illinois State. And then we'd play UNO, and they'd throw their 4th guy, and he'd go 0 for 4. Well, on the year, he was 3 for 8, hitting 375. But we knew he hit the guy from Illinois State that can't pitch, and he couldn't hit UNO's 4th guy. So who are you doing against? LSU has played 5 tough games, the 3 in Houston, at Tech. And I'm going to throw UNO in there as being a good opponent because UNO is going to be good in the Southland this year. But other than that, it's Towson, Southern, Bethune-Cookman. That's not getting you any better. But the schedule is what it is. We'll worry about the schedule for next year when we get forward. But you got Tulane Tuesday night at the box, weather permitting. And then you got 6 o'clock, 6:30, 2 o'clock. That's your 3 6:30, 6 o'clock, 2 o'clock, your 3 first pitch times for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Nolan Kane on the Aggie staff, Jim Schlossnagel, who's going to make that a good team, maybe especially going forward. The Aggies will be in town. It's SEC play. It'll be 3 of the 30 this weekend out of the box. Long-term weather forecast looks good. So LSU's really got some work to do. Cleaned up the error thing a little bit, but, there's still a lot of things to be done with this baseball team.
Make sure you check them out. A lot of good stuff. We'll be back on Wednesday and Friday. Wednesday, of course, and Friday, Tommy will be over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. But tell them about Court Street Cafe.
Well, Court Street Cafe, you got them open breakfast, lunch, dinner, 6 days a week, the breakfast and the brunch on Sunday. Today, the lunch special is red beans and rice with a fried chicken breast and a salad. Lunch special tomorrow is pastelaia. You got steak night on Thursday. Boiled crawfish Fridays at approximately 5 p.m. They started that last Friday. It was a huge hit. So connect with Court Street Cafe on Facebook and Instagram. You'll keep up with all the lunch specials, the dinner specials, the boiled crawfish, and any other events they got at Court Street Cafe. They're like everybody else. They're ready for the spring and the summer to be here. Court Street Cafe, Jason and the staff do a wonderful job.
A couple quick tidbits. Chance Babin impressed by the Berry home run off the Intimidator. He's already got 8 jacks. What are we, 16 games in, I think we are, something like that?
I bet it was Doty.
Yeah, Doty's got less, but Doty's been clutch. He's been very, very good. And, of course, Craig Schilling says he'll never be able to hear the name Bethune-Cookman again without the Roger Cador voice in his head. Coach Cador, the former Louisiana Sports Hall of Famer, he said, Jimbo, the Bethune-Cookman, they are really good. They will join the SWAC, and they will be intimidating. Just watch my words. And
I looked it up. They don't play Southern this year.
come on.
It's like the
Two biggest names in the league.
I don't know. I thought that was odd when I looked up the schedule. Hey, real quick on A&M, they play Houston tomorrow night. A&M took 2 out of 3 this past weekend. They lost their Saturday game. It's going to be a good matchup.
By the way, Houston lost 2 out of 3 to UL Lafayette. The Raging Cajuns with a dominant series win yesterday, 10-1. Had a pitcher go a complete game. Wilson did. Real good slider. He's a big 6'3" kid. Zach Arnold, the former LSU player who had a good year last year, particularly in the postseason when he got forced into action. A lot of people didn't want to see Zach Arnold leave. He was a high draft pick from the West Coast, a high prospect player. Was going to go to Oregon. They got a new coach. He ended up coming to LSU. He played 2 years, had some good moments. Well, he transferred when even he put his name in the portal right away, even before Jay Johnson got the job. And Zach Arnold actually plays for Houston. So he plays for the Houston Cougars. Not hitting real well, batting average under 220 for Zach Arnold, who wouldn't have probably gotten in the lineup. Definitely wouldn't have gotten in the lineup this year. So it was a smart move for him to transfer.
Yeah, good situation. So, hey, we're like Ronnie said, we're back Wednesday and Friday with Sports Shorts Daily in the morning. Connect with Sports Shorts on Facebook. Like and share this video. Keep up with all my social media stuff. I got a lot of podcasts dropping this week. Talking sports with TK. And again, meatandpotatoesusa.com will be all over the March Madness. Talked with all the consultants this weekend. So we're getting ready to blow it out come later this week. Meatandpotatoesusa.com. Ronnie, the Rougarou, people are fired up. And we'll be back Wednesday. And then, of course, Sports Shorts Radio that's coming Saturday to go over the whole week.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more announcements on the Baton Rouge Rougarou. So make sure you join us soon.